What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Now, today's episode, I'm going to jump ahead here. I was going to do my wide receiver tight end rankings. I'll do those videos next. This is going to be 10 sleeper plays, all positions, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, because I have a couple that are playing tonight for Thursday Night Football, so I wanted to get this video out before, so I will get those videos out next, guys. Now we're going to dive into the matchups, the point totals, the defensive rankings, everything of why these guys are going to be flex sleeper plays if you need. So, like, don't start them over your wide receiver twos or, wide receiver ones or running back ones, nothing like that. But if you do have questions, drop them in the comments. I try to answer every single one of them for you guys. Before we dive into it, guys, tap that thumbs up. Helps me out a ton. Hit that subscription button. Turn that bell on. I'll be live tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern for the first start-sit show of Week 7, guys. I hope to see you guys in there, man. You guys have shown absolutely amazing support. I can't thank you guys enough. And if you guys haven't checked out drafters.com, we're going to put our slip in there for tonight. Make sure you sign up using promo code SLEAZE. You could tail us. It'll double your initial deposit up to $100. And then the guys FF, the Discord I run with Big Draft Energy. Both of these are pinned in the top comment of the video and in the description of the video. Check them out, guys. Now let's dive into 10 sleeper plays this week if you need because of injuries or you just a deep roster and you need to get them into your lineup because I like these matchups for these players. Starting off with the QB position, sleeper play, if you need this week, is going to be tonight. That's why I started this video early. It's going to be the Thursday Night Football matchup between the old veteran quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco. 43.5 is the over-under in this game. So mid to low tier point total, but I don't think that's going to matter in this game. So when you're looking at Aaron Rodgers here on the season, 138 pass attempts, 95 completions. Look at that percentage for a 40-year-old man. He's as efficient as they get. That's still number 12 in the NFL at 68.8%. 10 touchdowns to 3 picks. That's great. Tua just threw 3 picks last week. There's a sign for you. Rushing yards, I can't believe he even has any rushing yards. 12 rushing yards with his old age, no TDs. Thrown 8 deep balls and has 81 points. He's QB 23 on the season. Now, this is like a 17 to 20 point play, I would say, this week. He put up 17 versus Cleveland last week, and that's a top defense. He had cracked 25 points in week 1 against the New York Jets. But now you're getting the Cincinnati Bengals, guys. And they just also updated that Trey Hendrickson is going to be held out of this game because he's a possible trade candidate. That's their best D lineman. So the Bengals give up 18 points to the quarterback on the season already, which ranks 22nd. They've given up 1,606 passing yards. That is second worst behind the Dallas Cowboys. 12 passing TDs through 6 games. That's 2 a game. DK Metcalf has had 4 TDs straight, or 1 TD straight in 4 straight games. So I expect DK to have another big game here as well. And you're probably going to see a lot of Jaylen Warren in this game too. I mean, he's going to have a good game here. The Bengals run D is bad. Bengals defense is bad across the board. So I really do expect Darnell Washington, Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith to be heavily involved because the Bengals are worse versus the tight end. I expect DK Metcalf to have a big game. We could see a Calvin Austin bomb. And I like Aaron Rodgers a lot as a sleeper play this week if you need to fill in at quarterback. Number 2, lo and behold, that's why I'm doing this video before. We got another one from the same game. Joe, the old man Flacco, rolls into Cincinnati on 4 or 5 days, flies out to Green Bay last week against a very, very tough defense versus the quarterback, and makes Jamar Chase, T. Higgins relevant in the game. All of a sudden, you have a serviceable quarterback with superstar talent around him. Joe Flacco, I'm going to love as a sleeper play tonight versus the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. And when you're looking at Joe Flacco's stats here, he's got 122 pass attempts, 205 completions, 102 pass attempts. That's different. Passing yards, 1,034. But you got to remember, these are games with the Cleveland Browns, man. So he had a 3-point game with the Browns, a 4-point game with the Browns, and a 9-point game with the Browns. That's how bad it's been in Cleveland. And it's not going to get much better anytime soon. But Dylan Gabriel, we'll talk about him next year because I like the matchup here. But we got to look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he has 4 touchdowns, 6 picks. But 2 of those touchdowns are with the Bengals with 0 picks. The other are all with the Browns, right? Bad system. I don't know how him and Aaron Rodgers have rushing yards at 13, but we'll throw that up there. Deep balls, he's thrown number 9, and now you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He's going to let it fly. QBR, again, bad because he's on the Browns before. And points, 50.6, QB 31, but he just had 18.7 versus the Micah Parsons-led Green Bay Packers defense on the road, like I said, with like a 3-game trip. Now they're going to have more practice. They're going to be more plugged in. Joe Flacco's a veteran. He knows. And you're going to get the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which Joe Flacco's played against almost his entire career. He knows this team in and out. So you got to look at their defense. They give up 19 points to the quarterback, ranking 24th. There you go. So they've given up 1,352 passing yards, 7 passing TDs. And I do really honestly believe that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going to have a night here. And this is going to be a better Thursday night football game than people think with these old quarterback vets. And I like them both for around 17 to 20 plus points in sleeper plays tonight. Number 3, who I just talked about before, is going to be Dillon Gabriel of the Cleveland Browns. Now, we're getting the Miami Dolphins here, and it's been a small game sample size with him. He's only been a starter for 2 games. So you got to remember that going into this. So 89 pass attempts, 51 pass completions, 430 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Joe Flacco had freaking 6 interceptions with the Browns. Make that make sense that Dillon Gabriel is keeping the ball under wraps, and he threw 52 pass attempts last week, which is what I tried to allude to with the Cleveland Browns all year, is they're going to be playing from behind in a pass-heavy team. So 2 rushing attempts for 5 yards, that's got to come up. I mean, he was a rushing quarterback at Oregon. I expect a little better situation for him running the ball there. Completion percentage 57.3, not bad, not great. Deep balls through 2 games, 5, that's not bad. QBR, of course, you're on the Browns, got to come up, but that's probably not going to come up anytime soon. And then points, 50.6, QB 31. So over the past 2 games, he's put up 25 points, around 12.5, but he played Minnesota and the Steelers, right? But I do think the Steelers are going to get carved up by Flacco. So, don't throw that out there. But this is a rookie quarterback. So it's a different story. Now you get the Miami Dolphins, who right now are in a massive fire sale. Tua's talking shit, then he's apologizing. Today he just dropped his apology saying that he shouldn't have said what he said at the press conference, which is what I said in the video yesterday, like an idiot. I don't know why you're the leader of the team doing that. You got Devon Achane on the trade block, Jalen Waddle on the trade block. They don't know what's going on in Miami. They're trying to fire sell everything. And guys, the Miami Dolphins defense versus the quarterback, where do they rank? 31st, second worst in the NFL, getting up 22.7 points per game. 1,403 passing yards, 11 passing TDs. That's third worst. That's almost 2 passing TDs a game. And guys, they've given up 166 rush yards and freaking 4 rushing TDs to the quarterback. So that's 15 total quarterbacks they've given up, or 15 total touchdowns to the quarterback on the season. If you need a sleeper play, you saw a little connection with Jerry Jeudy kick in with the Njoku going down, and we don't know if Njoku's going to play. So I know the weather is also a factor in this game, so make sure you're paying attention to the weather. But last week when I talked about the weather with the freaking, I think it was the Ravens game or Ravens-Rams game or whatever it was, then it was clear skies, and the Bears-Commanders game was clear skies, and then it was full sleet rain. So I'm not talking weather until like the day of on a live show. I won't do that again because it can always change, and that was just dumb. So if you need a sleeper play, I like Dillon Gabriel as well for about 17 to 20 points, just like Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco. Heading over to the running back side, number 4 sleeper play, if you need to throw into your flex this week, is going to be Tyjae Spears. Now, what did you see? And it's going to be a very, very tough matchup versus the New England Patriots. So let's take this out of the way first because they are damn good versus the running back. So I'm going to take this away, and then we'll talk about why I like Tyjae Spears. So the Patriots, they stuff in between the tackles where Tony Pollard lives, which is why I don't like Tony Pollard this week. New England is number 6 versus the running back, only giving up 17.8 points, 373 yards. That's number 1 in the NFL in yards allowed. They've given up, though, 230 through the air, which is bottom 5 in the NFL. Right? I think that's actually third worst in the NFL. Where does Tyjae Spears live? In the receiving game, in the third down role, even though he came out as a starter with the first snap last week, and the Tennessee Titans told you that they're going to give him an increased workload off his injury when he was on IR. So he played 25% of the snaps in week 5, and then he played 60% in week 2, which means that he outsnapped Tony Pollard either way. So when you're looking at a matchup where you've got Tony Pollard going to get stuffed up the middle, it's probably a game script playing from behind. They fired their head coach. Calvin Ridley is most likely out for this game, according to the updates. Their bye is coming. This team is in absolute shambles. This could be an 8 to 10 flex play in your running back spot just based on game script. And he put up 7 points last week against the Raiders, and he played more running back. So this is a deep flex. Not deep, I guess. You could say like 12-man double flexing if you need, that I like this week because I don't think Tony Pollard's going to do a damn thing versus New England run D. Number 5, and I cannot believe that we are even having Travion Henderson on this list, but he is making the sleeper list now because, dude, the guy's only scored 11 points on the season. That's his highest point total was against Carolina, and he's never played exactly over 50% snaps on the season. And then we had Antonio Gibson go down, and then Ramondre Stevenson gets 70% of the snaps after fumbling 3 freaking times in 2 games. I just don't understand what is going on with Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. I think something happened in-house here because if you watch the eye test, everyone knows that Travion Henderson is better than Ramondre Stevenson. Let's just be real. So we got to look at the stats here. 41 attempts, 148 yards, 3.61 yards per carry. Ramondre Stevenson in his last 2 games had 20 carries for 32 yards. That's a 1.2 average, and they were plus matchups. So 16 receptions for Travion, 99 yards, 0 touchdowns, 38.2 snap share. That's number 45. Not great for the draft capital spent. Target share 10.4. He's a great receiving back. Red zone touches 5 and 46.7 points, making him RB 38. Now, again, it's going to be risky because we don't know if Travion or Ramondre or how the snap share is going to go. But what we do know is the matchup they have this week should be a blowout where they're controlling the clock with the run game against the Saints. They're favored right now, or not versus the Saints. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Versus the Titans, who I just talked about. The Titans are pretty much dead in the water, right? So they're favored by 7.5. Give this guy 60% snap share and watch what he does, and you're going up against the Titans run D, who is ranked 29th, giving up 28 points per game. That's 4th worst. This has got to be a sleeper flex play that finally hits for once. They've given up 684 rush yards. That is 3rd worst. They've given up 9 rushing touchdowns. That is 1st worst in the NFL. So you know either Ramondre or Travion scored in this game. They've given up 165 yards to the air and another touchdown through the air. That's 10 total touchdowns. What? Through 6 games, that's almost a 1.5, or exactly 1.5 or 1.4 touchdowns a game. Let's throw him in there as a dart throw if you need. I know it's sketchy. I know his snap share is not there. I can't make it make sense. It's just one of those things. But if there's any week, this is a great matchup week for Henderson. Number 6, heading over to the wide receivers, and this one is going to be a little Puka Nacua based right now because I don't know what the Rams are trying to do here. Their bye is coming up, and it still hasn't been ruled out, and they're saying that Puka is day-to-day. But, man, with that knee injury that he had, it definitely did not look like day-to-day to me. I don't know if it did to you guys. Hang on, I'm trying to pull up midstream, right, or mid-show. I'm going to get the Puka update here, and, yeah, it says still possible day-to-day. I don't think that's going to happen. Their bye is next week. They're playing Jacksonville and London. I just don't see it happening. So why I like Jordan Witt so much as a sleeper, before we dive into the defense and stuff here, got to throw a shout out to my guy, Laquan Jones from the NFL Network. If you guys do not follow The Real Deal Fantasy on Twitter, make sure you do. The guy's been on my show before. Absolutely amazing dude. Great insight. And yes, he's a Rams fan, of course. But see, here's what you got to look at as well. So he's talking about Jordan Whittington's average target separation at 4.6, which leads all wide receivers in the NFL. What's even crazier is his open percentage, 3+ yards, is a league high 69% among wide receivers that have ran 100 routes. He's an incredible player in open space. He turns into a running back, 6+ yak catch in 3 games this season. So think about all that, and then let's talk about this here. So Puka Nacua went down last week. His snap share on the season is around 40, 50, 60%. He played 80 in week 4, but there was another, banged up injury in that game where he played more. So he played 92% of the snaps last week at Baltimore when Puka Nacua went down. That is elite wide receiver 1 usage. So when you're looking at all these stats, this is wide receiver 3 numbers, right? He's behind 2 of the best wide receivers in the game. 13 targets, 10 receptions, 112 yards, 6.3. Target share 61.7, snap share, route participation 48.2, red zone targets 1, points 22.4, right? Your wide receiver 3, that makes sense. Now, the matchup we get in London, Devontae Adams is probably going to draw the double teams with no Puka Nacua. And this guy's been getting the tutelage of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. You don't think that's making Jordan Whittington a better wide receiver? You got to be crazy not to think that, right? So now we're going to look at the matchup and how bad the Jacksonville Jaguars are versus the wide receiver. Where do they rank? They rank in at 26th, giving up 35.7 points per game, 995 yards on the season. That is bottom 5 in yardage, and 6 touchdowns, which is bottom 5 as well, tied for 5th as well in that situation. Now, when Devontae Adams is getting all the heat, Matt Stafford's been on a heater, you can expect Jordan Whittington to have a big game, but again, I don't understand the Puka updates. I don't know why they don't just rule him out. So if Puka's out there, then he obviously doesn't become one. But I'm banking like 90% that Puka is not out there, and you can throw Jordan Whittington as a 8 to 10 point PPR regular play with touchdown upside this week. Number 7 is going to be Luther Burden of the Chicago Bears. Now, if you guys been subscribed to my channel or anything this season, I was incredibly high on Luther Burden coming in. I think he was the Ollie Gordon of the draft, who was the Doak Walker Award winner the year before he got drafted. And, dude, Luther Burden's year before his senior year, he was hampered with injuries, and it dropped their draft capital. These guys are superstars, man. So this one also hinges on DJ Moore, right? And I think even if DJ Moore is out there, he went to the hospital, quote-unquote, update for like a hernia or something that happened to his hip, and we really haven't gotten full information yet, but the update is that he's day-to-day. And even if he's out there day-to-day, if he's out there playing off day-to-day, you saw down the stretch of last week's game, once that injury happened, he was just a decoy. And Luther Burden looked better. He had 4 receptions for 51 yards in that game. So let's say DJ Moore is out. This matchup is absolutely beautiful, and this will be the breakout game for Luther Burden right here, and we'll probably hear DJ Moore trade rumors if he goes down and Burden pops here, right? So you're going up against the Saints. The Saints, 1-5, their season is absolute shambles. They're looking to trade Shaheed. They're looking to trade Olave. They're probably going to look to trade Kamara. And they're just leaving Spencer Rattler out to dry. And you're at Soldier Field in this game, right? So the Saints give up 33.7 points per game to the wide receiver. That ranks 23rd. It's 862 yards, 8 touchdowns, which is 3rd worst in the NFL at touchdown rate. Now, Rome Odunze going to draw all the attention. This is going to be a running free Luther Burden with Caleb Williams and a Ben Johnson drawn up system where he is his Amon-Ra that he wanted to draft. They went out and got Colston Loveland and Luther Burden with top 2 picks, and they already had tons of weapons. I'm telling you, I've watched enough video on this guy. Just watch it, man. He's so good. If he gets his chance, he is going to break out, and this could be that monster week for Luther Burden. Number 8 is going to be Elik Ayamanor. Now, when you're looking at this is not going to be a great matchup based wise. This is going to be a volume-based flex play that could possibly give you 8 to 10 points with maybe touchdown upside in garbage time, right? Because you're going to go up against the New England Patriots, and if Calvin really is out like it looks like he's going to be, again, this will hinge on Calvin Ridley. I don't think Calvin Ridley is going to play in this game, let's be honest. You got a 30-year-old wide receiver with a hamstring injury. The odds of that coming back in 1 week are probably like 10%. But it is possible, so I'm not throwing that out there. Now, you're going to get Chris Gonzalez in this matchup. Not good for your wide receiver 1. This guy's absolutely locked up everyone that lines up on his side, but he doesn't travel side to side, so they could line up Ayaman on a different side as well. But there will be probably 40-50% snaps he draws the cornerback 1, right? But what you got to look at is when Ridley went down last week on the first freaking play or first drive on a 20-yard catch or whatever it was against the Raiders, Ayamanor stepped in as the wide receiver 1 with 93% of snaps. That is volume. That is elite wide receiver 1 usage. Now, his numbers weren't great. 5 catches, 3 targets, 27 yards. I know that this is not a great play. You look at his season stats, 34 targets, 17 receptions, 169. He had back-to-back touchdowns in week 2 and week 3, and everybody got hyped on it, and then it kind of died out. 18.5% target share, not bad for a wide receiver 2. 78.7% snap share, right around wide receiver 2 numbers, but it's going to go up to the 90s this week again. Route participation 78, that's solid for a wide receiver 2, and red zone targets at 3 and 48.6. Those are all decent rookie numbers for your wide receiver 2. So now he steps in as the 1. Let's say the Saints get up big. Garbage time is going to be there. They're not going to bench their rookies. The Titans season is over, man. They've lost their head coach. And like I said, Ridley's down. If you need a flex play, I like Ayamanor for 7 to 10 points in PPR and a possible touchdown upside in garbage time. It can be there. He's done it before this season already in garbage time. Heading over to the tight end side, number 9, if you need, is going to be Cade Otton, who is an absolute ghost for the first 4 weeks of the season. But guess what? The entire Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver squad is hurt, but Mike Evans is coming back as well, which I think is going to help K-Dot more. People are like, oh my God, Mike Evans is back. You can't start K-Dot. Yes, you can. You still have Tez Johnson, Cameron Johnson, and Sterling Shepard on the outside. Although Baker Mayfield can make anyone good, let's be honest. He's my MVP right now. So looking at these stats, remember, games 1 and 3, he had 0 points. Games 2 and 4, he had combined 6 points. Think about that. He had no stats, 33 yards in the first 4 games. Not good. So this is 133 yards in the past 2 games. So 22 receptions, or 22 targets, 15 receptions. Hasn't found the end zone yet. Target share 11.7. That's gone up over the past couple of weeks. Snap share. This guy's number 2. He never comes off the field. He's out there just running wind sprints for the first 4 weeks. Route participation, number 5, 87.3. Red zone targets got to come up. That's only 1. 31.6 points. He is tied in 29. Now we're looking at the game. And what do you notice about the Monday Night Football game about the Detroit Lions besides the 52.5 implied high point total second of the week, or number 2 in the week? You also know that the Detroit Lions are missing 5 out of 6 corners, 1 out of 2 safeties. Kirby Joseph got banged up last week, and Mike Evans is coming off injury. Yeah, Mike Evans I like as a smash start for sure. We'll get to that in my wide receiver video. But there's going to be opportunity galore here in this game versus the Lions. And the Lions aren't bad or good versus tight end. They're middle of the pack. They rank 14th, giving up 13.1, 316 yards and 3 TDs. And I honestly do like K. Dotton for 8 to 10 point floor with a possible touchdown upside in this game. And I think he's going to be a very, very serviceable tight end this week if you need in week 7 versus the Lions. Last but not least, number 10, tight end number 2 is going to be Michael Mayer of the Las Vegas Raiders. And God damn, they even got a win, and the wheels are still falling off in Oakland. Jacoby Myers once out. We don't know what's going to happen if he's even going to play in this game. Who knows if there's a trade that happens. And all of a sudden, Brock Bowers' update went from week to week to quote-unquote on the shelf. I mean, the Raiders know their season is over. Geno Smith at quarterback was a massive mistake. But last week against Tennessee, and I know Tennessee's a lot worse defense than Kansas City, so let's look at Kansas City here first. And Spagnuolo is the best drawn-up guy for against tight ends. Like, that's his defensive scheme, is to lock your tight end up, even though Laporta had a day on that great touchdown catch last week, which I didn't see coming. Shout out to Laporta on that catch, man. That was awesome. Now, the Chiefs rank 5th versus tight end. They give up 8.5. So in no way, shape, or form is it a good matchup. 23 receptions, 219 yards, and the 1 touchdown to Laporta, which was a tiptoe 2-defender touchdown catch, right? They're awesome versus tight end. But what I'm looking for here is volume and game script. You're playing the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead with Rashee Rice back. They're going to get the brakes blown off them in this game, right? And you know, a 24-year-old tight end that was highly touted out of Notre Dame that just got stuck behind Brock Bowers because he fell to him in the draft. This guy's still very, very good at football. And you saw that last week with 7 targets, 5 receptions, 50 yards, and a touchdown. And he played 92% of the snaps last week. That is elite tight end 1 K. Dotton usage, which what I like, what I talked about K. Dotton. Snap share, volume. Opportunity leads to volume. Volume leads to points. This is what you want in fantasy football. Now, looking at his stats, these are all, he missed weeks 3, 4, and 5, and he played limited snaps in week 1 and 2. So when you're looking at all these stats right here, throw them out the window because he played 92% of the snaps last week, and Brock Bowers has been ruled out. You're playing in a game you're going to be playing massively from behind from. And if you need a tight end dart, though, who just scored a touchdown last week, he could probably get one in this game in garbage time too, although I hate the matchup early on. That's for sure. And we don't know how it's going to go with Jacoby Myers and what's going on there. So this may be your actual number 1 target, if not Trey Tucker. So nice sleeper play with Michael Mayer this week. And I had him also last week as a sleeper. Thanks for rocking with me, guys. That is the end of the video. That is my top 10 sleeper plays, all positions. If you guys need this week to throw into your lineups, remember, guys, any questions, drop them down below, and I'll get my wide receiver tight end rankings out right after this. We're cutting a couple hours here, and then we're live at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we're full go here for the rest of the weekend, guys. If you guys haven't tapped that like on your way out, make sure you do. Hit that subscription. Helps me out a ton. I can't thank you guys enough. It's been absolutely amazing. And again, drafters.com, our sponsor, and the Guys FF Discord are both pinned in the comments if you want to talk fantasy football with us 24/7 off stream. We cover everything for you guys in there. And that's it for me in this episode, man. I hope to see you guys in the live stream tonight or in the next couple episodes coming today, man. Sleaze Bum out.